Hello everybody, this is Darren the Disney Man, and I am back with another vlog. I am at my house, and I just finished, I just got home from a long beach day. I went fishing, so I have my tackle bag and all my tackle stuff that I still have to unpack, and I just took a shower. But I went to the beach in the morning, and usually I saw this at my grandma's house. But I went to the harbor, and I went to the harbor and I went in my kayak, and I went in the harbor and did that a little bit by this like little beach area, and then I came home really quick, and I had about 15-20 minutes, and then I hopped on my bike, rode down to the beach, and I met up with one of my friends from school, and we went fishing at one of the jetty areas, kind of. It's kind of a jetty, but that was cool. He caught more fish than I did. I only caught like 2 or 3, and then he caught like 5 or something like that. But I'm going to show you guys how to make butter. Now, I have never tried this, so this is going to be the first time I have ever tried this. And if this is the first time you're ever trying it, well, we're in the same boat. So, I'll be right back once I get that all set up, and I'll explain why I'm doing that. Okay, so just to give you a little bit of history, butter has been, people have been making, don't mind the glass bowl, people have been making butter for around 10,000 years when people started domesticating animals. So basically, butter is a byproduct from milk. So when you get the milk out of a cow, when you get milk out of a cow, and you separate it, and you let it sit for a couple of days, it forms 2 layers. The actual milk and a cream, a heavy cream. So, this heavy cream, or what is known now as whipping cream in the U.S. at least, hence the whipping cream, which I'm just going to pour in this bowl really quick. What the heck? I thought there was something wrong with my phone. So I'm just going to pour this heavy cream into a bowl. So this is the layer this is one of the products of a cow. And from this, you mix it. So that's where the butter churning term comes from. Back a long time ago, you had to do it by hand. Now we have electric mixers. Thank goodness. So, luckily for those, I don't have to. Now, you can do this in a mason jar and just like shake it for like 20 minutes, but I'm too lazy for that. So, you just need, here, let me hold on. So, you just need your heavy whipping cream, at least that's what it's called in the U.S., and I am going to start mixing. Whoops. Now you want the bowl to be bigger than the thing because it will kind of create more. And it will expand. Actually though, I may get a smaller bowl. I will be back momentarily. Maybe. If my mixer doesn't keep falling over. That's it. Okay, there we go. So I've now moved it into a smaller bowl, just so it's easier. So this is going to take about 20 minutes, and I'll update you. So you just have to do this, shake it. If you have a stand mixer, you can use that. Whatever you want to do. So when you're making butter, you're churning it, right? And when you mix it like this, you get two things. You get butter and buttermilk. Now, buttermilk is great for using in things like pancakes, waffles, and different baking products. It gives it a really good taste to it. So, I will update you guys in a minute. So, I've been doing it for 2 minutes or so. Yeah, don't take it out while you're spinning it. It's kind of starting to foam up, so you'll kind of get a whipped cream texture, or whipped cream type of texture eventually. But one of the reasons why I'm doing this is because butter that you buy in the store, like sticks of butter or the country butter or whatever it's called, I don't even know what the name of it is, it's processed. They put a bunch of preservatives and stuff like that in it so that it lasts longer. This stuff, I mean, you can treat it with a tiny bit of salt and with doing a little bit extra work so that it lasts for a little while. But this butter is made so that you can use it 1 or 2 days. You only have a day or two to use this butter. And obviously they have to add preservatives to it because when they make it and ship it to the factory, you know, when they ship it from the factory to the stores, that takes like a day or so, depending on where the factory is. And then it might sit there for who knows how long in the store. So you have to make sure it's good for a month or so, or even more, depending on what grade. Now, the highest grade grocery store butter has nothing on this butter. I've tried somebody's homemade butter before. Somebody made homemade butter. You can customize this however you want. Once you get to the stage where it's starting to thicken up and break apart, I'll show you guys again. And then once you separate the butter and the buttermilk, which I'll show you later on, you can add all kinds of things to the butter. You can make honey butter, rosemary butter. I've had all kinds of butter because I've tried it before, and it's good. A lot of places serve honey butter with like cornbread and stuff. And I went over to my friend's house one time, and I tried this toast and butter, and I tried, and it was amazing. And I saw videos on YouTube about how to make butter, and it's very simple. I mean, it is a little time consuming. If you have about a half hour of time, then it's great. But yeah, there's no reason why you shouldn't try this. Like I said, if you just have a jar, you can do it in a jar by shaking it. That gets kind of tiring. You can whisk it by hand if you want to whisk it, if that's your type of thing, you know, you can whisk it. If you have a mixer like this, a hand mixer, that's cool. You just have to hold it up, so that kind of hurts your arm after a while. I've been going on about 4 minutes. You know, I kind of move it around the bowl. This is kind of a small bowl, like these mixing, the whisk attachment things on here, which is what I'm using right now. These whisk attachments, are kind of too big for the bowl, but right now I have it on 3, I think the highest setting is 12. I'm gonna set it up to 4. Actually, I'm gonna go back down to 3. But yeah, so making your own butter and making your own stuff. I've made my own bread. I've made my own potato chips, made my own french fries. It's so much better than what you get in the stores or at restaurants. I mean, if the restaurant that you go to makes fresh potato chips, or if you can get fresh fries, and those are really good. I have a deep fryer, a mini deep fryer, so I make a lot of potato fried things, and they just taste so good. So I'll update you guys later. Alright, so right now it is at the kind of like the foamy stage, like the whipped cream stage. of the process, and as you can see, it's holding its form, and it's more of a whipped cream texture. Now, this is not what whipped cream is made out of, just to tell you. Whipped cream is different. This is heavy whipping cream, and whipped cream also has sugar in it besides just this. Besides just like the dairy product that you use. You may use this actually for whipped cream since it's whipping cream, but it still tastes like just heavy cream, which does not taste very good. It tastes worse than milk, and I don't like milk, so I'm going to keep going. So this is one of the key transformation parts of this process. So you have the cream, and the cream starts kind of going into little clumps, as you can see right there, and then this liquid starts forming. That is the buttermilk. Once these two separate, you have butter. So I'm going to keep it going from here. I had to turn it down, actually, because it is splashing. So now this is the part where you kind of have to give up on the hand mixer because the butter just clumps up too much. So I'm just going to mix it all by hand from here on out. So I now have butter and buttermilk. I still have to separate some of the buttermilk out of the butter. Alright, but I'm going to pour the buttermilk off right now into a container. I don't have really like a liquid container that I can hold it in, so it's just gonna get poured into there. So I can't do this with the camera because I need two hands, so I'm just pouring it in. I'm gonna put a spoon up against it so none of the butter goes out. Anyways, be right back. So the next step is to separate all the rest of the buttermilk that is in the butter out. So hold on. Gotta set this over here. So I just have some cold ice water, just some drinking water, some filtered water, and I'm just gonna make sure it's cold, because if it's not cold, then obviously you're gonna have some issues, and you're just gonna press the butter. But yeah, if it's not cold, then the butter is going to get soft, especially if it's a higher temperature than the butter. And this also helps solidify the butter, so it's easier to work with, because cold butter is a lot easier to work with, just period. Except for if it's super cold, then spreading it on bread is a bit of a problem. But, so the buttermilk kind of will spoil, well, it won't kind of. The buttermilk will spoil the butter if you do not get it all out, because the buttermilk will just go bad. So let's pour this off. So here's our first good look at our butter. That was just 8 fluid ounces, or 236 milliliters of heavy whipping cream, grade A. And we got quite a bit of butter. I don't know how many tablespoons. I can measure that later. But, so this, I'm just going to add some more cold water. And so the key is to press it, and then once the water comes, once you're pushing it and the water doesn't become cloudy, then you're good. But yeah, so you want to make sure to get all the buttermilk out of the butter as much as you can, because the buttermilk will spoil your butter. Which is not good, because you want your butter to last a long time. So, when big name brand companies are making butter, they mix it in a big vat, like me, but in a much larger scale. And then they add all the preservatives after they drain the liquid out, and they add all the preservatives so it doesn't spoil. And when you're making handmade anything. You know, butter is more of a cooking ingredient, more than a actual thing that you eat. I mean, at the fair they have like deep fried butter, but would not recommend eating that. But so yeah, the cold water will help solidify the butter. Also, because when you're working with it, it kind of becomes room temperature. So. Yeah, so there it is. It smells like butter. We'll taste it once I'm done getting all the cream out. Now, you don't have to do this if you're going to use it right away, by the way. If you're going to use the butter if you're going to use the butter the day you make it, you don't have to do this extra step. I'm going to pause it really quick since I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. So I believe this is my 4th time with the water, and I'm pushing it down, and I don't see any really cloudiness at all. It's staying pretty clear. So I'm going to dump it out. Now, it is said to use icy cold water, but my whipping cream was in the fridge beforehand. I'll keep it refrigerated because it is dairy. So I'm just going to kind of smooth this out. Try to with one hand. And that'll be it. And then I'm going to move this, transport it. So, once you get all the buttermilk off, I'm going to kind of let it sit there. Once you get all the buttermilk off of it, you're going to want to form it into a ball with your spoon, which I'm going to have to do, but that's going to be hard. So, you're going to want to form it into a ball, and then I'll show you what the next step is. So I have my butter in a nice ball. I scooped it all, so hold on, bear with me. And you're just gonna set it onto some paper towel, some kitchen towel. You're going to wrap it up, take it over here to the sink, and we're just going to squeeze it. Now well, hold on. To squeeze it. The reason why you're squeezing it is to make sure that all of that buttermilk is out and all that extra water that you don't want. So I'm just going to place that back in the bowl really quick, and I'm going to get a container. So I just moved the butter from my little paper towel. Now if you have cheesecloth, that works way better because it doesn't really stick. But yeah, so I just found this little container, and yeah. So like I said, right now you could add in your honey or whatever you'd want to, your rosemary, whatever seasonings you would like to add to your butter. And then, oh yeah, my fish. And then you can just kind of, I'm just compacting it right now, just pushing it down with a spoon. Push it down there with the spoon. And there we go. And that is your homemade butter. I'm going to seal it up and put it in the fridge. So, oh, I'm sorry. I never measured how much this is. Here's my other fish tank. My goldfish can't be in there because he will eat them. I found that out the hard way. Anyways, our butter shelf is obviously full of sauces, so I'll just put it right next to it in this shelf. But yeah, this stuff, I can't show that very long because of copyright, possibly. I'm not sure, because I'm ripping off of them. But that stuff is processed. This is literally just and there's my buttermilk. So if you buy a big like pint of whipping cream, you're going to get a lot of butter out of it. So, but that's how you make your homemade butter. Now, forewarning, this will not taste like your regular butter. I actually just forgot to add salt to it. But yeah, you want to add some salt to it because most people are used to salted butter. I'll do that in a minute. I gotta clean this mess up, and I will see everybody in the next video. They all think it's food time.